Hi, and welcome to using metric prefixes. So this is probably going to be maybe the hardest parts. I mean, I don't know why seems to be so difficult for so many students, but it seems to be pretty hard for them. I don't know why. Maybe they just haven't memorized their prefixes, but you absolutely need to know your metric prefixes and how to convert from one prefix to another. So here are the main ones you definitely need to know. You definitely need to know kilo. So kilo has a symbol K, and it has the factor 10 to the third. So again, you got to know these factors and you got to know the symbols. So for example, you may have heard things like kilometers or a kilogram. Basic unit. The basic unit are your grams, liters, meters, moles, etc. And so the factor for that one is 10 to the 0. These don't have a prefix because they're your basic unit. The next one you need to know is centa. Centa C, like a centimeter, which you should be familiar with, is 10 to the negative 2. Milli, like a millimeter, or milligram, or milliliter, is M, and then whatever the basic unit is. So for example, the basic unit is, we'll just write so real quick. If the basic unit is gram, then I can have kilograms, centigrams, milligrams, micrograms, nanograms, etc. Move that out of the way. So for centa, it's 10 to the negative 2. For milli, it's 10 to the negative 3. And then micro is one we're not going to use too often. We will later on. But for micro, it is 10 to the negative 6. And it's written with this Greek letter mu. That is the Greek letter mu. And then nano is N, and it stands for 10 to the negative 9. And again, I'm going to show you how to go from one of these prefixes to the other. You have to know these factors to do so, though. Other shortcuts are, sometimes it's really easy just to memorize that there are 1,000 basic units in 1 kilo unit. So for example, there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. There's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So sometimes it's easier just to memorize that. Same thing for milli. There's 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. Or there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. For centa like a century is 100. So for centa, there's 1,000, no, I said 1,000, wow. There's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. You better shut your mouth over there. Just so you know. My son's watching me try to do this. Look at that nerd play Overwatch. That's why you're losing.
No, we're not.
You're losing.
Oh, no, we're winning.
Okay. Anyways, that's why I saw you lose the last round.
That's a different game mode.
Nerd. Anyways.
You play games too.
Let's do some examples here. Convert 4.28 kilograms to grams. So step 1 is just write out what's given to you. So I start with 4.28 kilograms. Now, I want to change, I make a conversion bar, which usually yours should be straighter than that. I'm going to try again. There we go. A little bit better. So you want to get rid of kilograms. Since kilograms is on top right now, because this is all over number 1, so this is all over 1, it's just you never write the 1. Kilograms are on top. So to get rid of kilograms, to cancel them out, I'm going to put kilograms on the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to put grams on top. Now, what goes here? What conversion? So I got to figure out how many grams are in a kilogram or how many kilograms are in a gram. The easiest way to do this, in my opinion, is to, well, the really easy way is just to memorize that there's always 1,000 basic units in a kilo, like I said earlier. But the traditional long way would be to do the following. Figure out which of these prefixes is higher on the list. So notice kilo is higher on the list than the basic unit. Whatever's higher on the list gets 1. So 1 kilogram equals how many grams? Well, to do that, you do 1 times 10 to the power. How do you figure out the power? This is where you have to know those factors. To figure out the exponent, you do the bigger factor number, the higher order one, minus the lower order. So in this case, since I'm doing kilo in the basic, it would be 3 minus 0, which equals 3. So my exponent's 3, which, by the way, 1 times 10 to the third is 1,000. That's where you get the 1,000 basic units. Again, where do these numbers come from? You take the higher order factor, since kilo is higher on the list, you take the 3 minus the lower order factor. which in this case would be 0. So 3 minus 0 is 3. So 4.28 kilograms times 1 times 10 to the third grams, or times 1,000, divided by 1 kilogram. The kilograms will cancel, and I'm left with 4,280 grams. To do another one, let's change 0.173 microliters to centiliters. Again, step 1, write out what's given to you. 0.173 microliters. Microliters right now are on top, so to get rid of them, I have to put them on the bottom. Microliters. Centiliters are what I'm looking for, so I'll put those on top for this one. Now, which one is the one? Again, which one of these prefixes is higher on the list? Centa or micro? Good, it's centa. Centa is higher on the list than micro. So centa will be the 1. For the bottom, I got to figure out the exponent. So I do 1 times 10 to the, I got to figure out the exponent. So again, you go to the factor. You do the higher order number, in this case -2, minus the lower order, in this case -6. So -2 minus -6. And what does that equal? Should equal 4. So this is going to be 1 times 10 to the 4 on the bottom. Or you can say that's 10,000, by the way. When you start taking the class, you'll actually get a graphing calculator and you learn how to write these in the calculator, which technically you write it as 1 second EE, which means times 10 to the, and you put 1 EE 4. But when you get to class, we'll practice it on the calculators. Otherwise, you just have to do this at home using whatever means you can. 0.173 times 1 divided by 1 times 10 to the 4, or 10,000, equals the following. That should equal 1.73 times 10 to the -5 centiliters. The microliters cancel, and I'm left with centiliters. If you did this on a regular calculator, you may have also gotten 0.0000173. But I changed it to scientific notation just to make it look a little bit better. But again, that's basically all you do. You just figure out, okay, what did you start with? Well, is it on top or on the bottom? Because that determines where it goes here. Since it's on top here, I got to put kilograms on the bottom. That means grams go on top. Since I start with microliters and they're on top, I got to put them on the bottom. I want centiliters, I'll put them on top. You figure out which of these prefixes is higher on the list. Whichever one's higher on the list gets the 1. And then the other one, you do 1 times 10 to, and then to figure out the exponent, you take the higher order number, again, whatever the higher order number is, minus the lower order one. Just to do one more as practice, it says change 1.6 kilograms per liter to grams per centiliter. This time I have prefixes on top and on the bottom, both of which I need to change. So let's just do it. 1.6 kilograms per liter. So which one do you want to change first? It doesn't really matter. For the sake of argument, because I'm in charge of the video, we're going to change kilograms to grams first, and then change liters to centiliters. Where are the kilograms on this fraction? Good, they're on top. So to get rid of kilograms, I have to put kilograms on the bottom. So kilograms go on the bottom, grams go on top, because that's what I'm looking for. Which is higher on the list, kilograms or grams? Good, kilograms. So kilograms is my 1. And then for grams, it would be 1 times 10 to the third. Or again, it's just easier to memorize that there's always 1,000 basic units in 1 kilo. So again, you can do you can just write 1,000 if you really wanted to. I'll put that in parentheses. You can just put 1,000 up top. Next, that will change my kilograms to grams. Now I want to change liters to centiliters. So I'm going to keep my conversion going. I could put all this in the calculator at once. Horrible line. Now, where is the liters this time? Top or bottom? Yeah, liters are on the bottom right here. So when I want to get rid of them, I got to get rid of them on top this time. So liters go on top, and centiliters will go on the bottom. Okay, what's higher on the list? liters or centiliters? If you go on the list from the very beginning. Good, liters. So liters will be the 1. And then how many centiliters are in a liter? Well, centa means 100, so there's 100 centiliters in a basic unit, just like there's 100 centimeters in a meter. You could have done 1 times 10 to the second. You don't have to. Again, your choice on how you want to write these. If you just want to write as 1,000, 100, 10,000, a million, whatever, or you want to put them in scientific notation, your choice. Again, how I got this exponent right here, the 2, I took the higher order, which would be liters, that's 0. Centa is -2, so I do 0 minus -2. So 0 minus -2 is equal to +2, and that's where that comes from. And that's how you get the 100. Now, plug this all in the calculator. 1.6 kilograms per liter times 1,000 grams per kilogram times 1 liter over 100 centiliters. And you'll basically get 16 grams per centiliter. And you are done. So that's probably as hard as it gets when you do metric conversions. Again, it's all about knowing where to place these. The real big thing is memorizing what are the symbols, what is the order, what are the factors, which one's on top, which higher order, which is a lower order. You gotta memorize these factors, and that's all it is. You guys easily got this.